Morning. So today we're going to talk about when to fertilize. I'll tell you what to use and when to fertilize, because it's not just what you need to apply, but when you apply it. That's really important this time of year. So hold on. Hey guys, I cover a lot of this in the lawn guides and I keep repeating this, but some of you guys don't know that. So get the lawn guides, go to freelawncareguide.com. Cool season grasses, warm season, Bermuda, zoysia. The calendars are up there, the products are up there, and a complete walkthrough of the entire year. You bookmark it, there's no app, there's no email, just use it, they're free. Next, towards the end of this video, we have the new farm property and we've been busting our butt over there. The setback, the cold weather that came in actually allowed us time to go over there and work. I'm going to throw together just a crazy video towards the end of just stuff we've been doing, just to give you a little update, because I haven't had much time. But as you can see, it's early, there's still dew on the grass, but I've got a lot of green coming up again. Now we started to have green, we got the freeze, then we got a whole ton of rain. We have had a ton of rain. The number one rule when you're applying a fertilizer, especially something that's a quick release, like a PGF balanced or a GreenShocker or any kind of treatment, pre-emergent, a fungicide, is you apply it to a dry soil, and I can't stress that enough. So we have had rain, and finally we've got warmer weather, no rain for 6 straight days. We've had 2 days of bright sunny weather, so now is the time that you'll come out and apply whatever you need to apply. Now that doesn't necessarily apply to slow release fertilizer. So I am coming out and doing one of my last coats of GreenShocker, and then I'll be switching over to PGF Complete, which is my base fertilizer. So all I'm doing this morning is I'm coming back here early because I got to jump on the dozer again over at the farm property and do some more drainage work. Hold on. Okay, so I've talked about applying especially fast release products to a dry soil. That's real important. You don't want to apply anything that's a fast release or something that releases into the soil quickly. When the soil is saturated, you apply it, and then the next day you have rain move in again, because it's not going to get soil penetration. Your infiltration into the soil, oh gosh, will be so small and you have lots of runoff. So my rule of thumb is 2 days of nice, sunny, warm weather. Let your soil dry out, and then you apply it, and then you can even run your irrigation system. Start the work-in process before you have a thunderstorm come through. Now, what am I putting down? I've got my pre-emergent down. That's all done. I've done my jumpstart program. The jumpstart program is we put down PGF balanced, put a little bit of nutrients on the lawn so that when the lawn wakes up, it wakes up into an environment where there's a little bit of nutrients. We're not pushing. Next, there's still a chance. There's still a chance that we can have some frost and freeze come in, even at the end of March, beginning of April. So I'm kind of holding off on my PGF Complete, which is my base long-term slow release fertilizer. So for me, not necessarily you, but for me, I'm coming out with GreenShocker. I'm putting out a light coat of GreenShocker about every week or every other week. Come out with a light coat of GreenShocker. It's very mild, it's instant, it's like salt. Great particle distribution. Turn on your irrigation system, it goes in and feeds your lawn a little bit. The week following this, I will probably, the beginning of April for us, I will probably go ahead and put down my PGF Complete, which is my base fertilizer. Now, we have been dealing with fungus here in the front yard for years. I'll put down some granular. Down at the beach house, we have some fungus down there, a little bit of fungus down there. I'll probably put down some of the granular fungicide. Now, I link to all these products in the description below. There's one link, and it'll show you everything that I'm using. So go there, you'll see the lawn guides there, and you'll see all the products. So that's basically where we are. We're on that slow transition. It's a slow wake up. We let Mother Nature wake the lawn up, and we just give it a little bit of nutrients before we go ahead and we hit it hard with our PGF Complete, and then our lawn will be beautiful. Right now, I'm looking at my lawn, and it looks great. I mean, it's almost solid green. I'm going to have to come by, and probably next week we're going to do our first cut. I'm going to tune up the reel mowers. Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss that. I'll be tuning up the reel mowers. We'll be sharpening blades. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. We'll also be going to the farm property. We got a bunch of stuff. We're killing fire ants. We're doing drainage issues. We're working on the fields. Man, it's like 7 days a week nonstop. What else we got going? That's about it. So today I'm going to hit some GreenShocker. I'll put it down. I actually see a little bit of germination back on that green, which is surprising me. We replanted the green. I didn't think it was going to take because of the hard freeze. So make sure you have the lawn guides. get that, and I'm gonna go throw down some GreenShocker right now. Okay, so I pulled out the spreader. I got the GreenShocker. Hi, birdies. All right, so I linked to this spreader. This is my favorite spreader. This is the Earthway. I will set this, and if you've never used GreenShocker, I'm going to warn you. You have to set your spreader settings at 1/8 of an inch, or maybe just above 1/8 of an inch, because this stuff right here, it literally is the size of salt granules. So you want to go very, very light with it, and if you have to go over the lawn twice, that's fine. I'll use 1 bag on the front, 2 bags on the back. And that's it. And then I'll be switching over to my PGF Complete, which is my base fertilizer. And that's pretty much it. Now down at the beach house, since we're not down there, I actually had one of my guys go put down PGF Complete 1608. Now down at the beach house, thanks to soil testing, I know I'm high on phosphorus there. So I'm using 1608. So if you've gotten a soil test and you're high on phosphorus, then use the 1608. Everybody else use PGF Complete 1648. That's what everybody recommends. All right, so I've got my GreenShocker on my spreader, and let me give you a couple tips when you're using this. And when you're using anything that's a DG product or something that goes right into the ground. Number one, I like to put this out when there's dew on the grass. So you can see, number one, GreenShocker is really hard to see. Here is the product itself. So it's just like salt. Okay, it's super, super fine. It's hard to see when you're putting it out, and there's no way to change it. There's no way to add color. That's it. So see how I can see my tracks? I know I'm gonna get about a 3.5, about a 3 foot spread on either side or so. That really helps me do it. I love to do applications early morning when there's dew on the grass. Number two, because it's a DG product and it's so fine, when it hits this dew, it's going to start to, the particles are going to start to break apart. I'm going to leave it on this dew grass for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to run my irrigation system. That'll push it. It'll turn into a liquid, and I'll push it right into the grass. I literally can come out here, and I can do my whole lawn in about 9 minutes. I can do the front and the back in 9 minutes, leave it, turn the irrigation on, and I'm done. It's so fast and so easy. But this is that perfect. 3 times during the year you can use GreenShocker. Number one is early spring before your base. Number two is in the summer. When people tell you you can't use fertilizer, that's because they don't want you putting down strong, slow release fertilizers. In the summer, if you have a whole bunch of rain moving in for a few days, put out some GreenShocker. You can, even cool season guys, you can use this to give your lawn a little bit of a pop. In the fall, when you don't want to apply a slow release because the colder weather might move in, go back to a little bit of GreenShocker. So those are the 3 times I like to use it, and I cover that in the lawn guide, and I cover that in GreenShocker. So let me put this out. I do my whole lawn in about 12 minutes. 17,000 square feet. I use 3 bags, which is actually probably about or lower than the bag rate. I've let it sit out here for about 25 minutes or so, 30 minutes. And now I turn my irrigation system on, and I'm going to run each station about 6 minutes. Let it sit and come back 6 minutes, and I'm done. It's in the soil and locked in. This is my this is my lock-in procedure, where I put it down on the dew, let it dissolve, and then I come back and run my irrigation system on dry soil, and it's locked in there. Now, we have learned too from the zoysia lawn experience that this stuff is great on new seed. A lot of people will say you don't want to put a 712 on new seed. If you've gotten a soil test done, and if you're high on phosphorus and potassium, why would you put out more? It doesn't make sense. So I like to use this. This has got iron, humic acid, a 7:1:2 ratio. If you're not lacking potassium or phosphorus, then put it on new seed. It did fantastic down at the beach house. So here's the green. I hit the green. This is new seed. I hit it twice. Germination started before the freeze and it killed off, I think, some of this, but I am seeing a little bit of a green haze all over this. This is bent. This is bent grass. So dwarf bent, we'll see what happens. My assumption is I have to reseed this, but yes, I use GreenShocker because it's all fast release and it's very mild. I like to use it on new seed unless my soil says you're lacking in something like potassium or phosphorus. Remember, one of the biggest fertilizer myths is that adding excess of a nutrient will somehow create a response that you want. It does not do that. Your plant only needs the amount of nutrient that it needs. So I'm finishing up watering. This is the back. It's getting kind of windy. But I want to show you something. I just put down GreenShocker. The dew was out. It started to melt. Now I'm watering it and look. This is what I'm talking about. See these particles right here? They're like completely wet now. They're all broken down. They're turning into a liquid and they're going right into the lawn. That is just too cool. So, I think what I'll do, make sure you get the calendar, which is in the Bermuda Lawn Guide, so you know what you're doing, what you need to put down. This is my early start program. In about a week or two, I'll be putting down PGF Complete. We'll be cutting, doing all kinds of stuff. I'll string together some stuff right now that we did on the farm. Hit subscribe. Talk to you later. Doc. Morning. So Ryan and I just showed up, pulled up. We had a bunch of rain and the pond actually looks phenomenal. It's actually clearing up. So what's interesting is Ryan said, I wonder if we ever get any ducks or geese. About that time, go hoot, go hoot, go hoot. And 2 geese came and landed in the pond this morning. And it was just beautiful. And they'll probably take off though. But they're not happy. Ooh, look at that swirl. So we're gonna come out here and fish a little bit before we work. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got this. There were a bunch of trees in here and there was all kinds of crap in here. We cut all these trees down the other day and pulled them out of here and put them in a pile. But we're going to cover this with gravel, so I don't want anything growing up through it. So today I'm going to be using Torton RTU. This is actually a tree killer and stump killer, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently today because this stuff, I'm sure, is toxic towards fish. And I've got a pond down here. So Ryan's drilling holes in these stumps. And I am just going to pour a little bit of this just into the hole. I don't want this washing away down towards my pond. So let me give you an example. So you can see. All I'm doing is I'm just drizzling it into those holes as best I can. And then that's it. I'm not treating huge areas on this. I'm just going into these holes. Okay, so now we're down to work time. Let me show you what we're doing. I've ordered one of these badgers that has the different tips on it. And right now we're using the chainsaw. I'm going to take some soil samples. We're cutting down all these little trees up in the field. I've got my backpack sprayer and I'm treating fire ant mounds because they're typical farm property. When you get into this tall grass, you get fire ant mounds that are up to your knees. I am using ortholine prill. Ortholine prill is like little prills that you put in water and dissolve, and you soak and drench the mound. So that's what I'm doing. The reason why I'm using that is because I don't want to use something that'll hurt the fish. The pond's back here, so I'm spraying ortholine on it. What else am I doing? So let me walk you down here real quick. So you may have seen the video of the excavator, the guys coming down and fixing the back of the pond. They did a fantastic job, by the way. We found that piece of pipe and we put it in, but the problem I've got is this corner is now too sharp from my big equipment trucks that are coming through. So right now, heck, it's almost a U. So the pipe, which looked long when we had it out,
See that? It's like a spring that runs all the time. Well, now we got it going under here. We built this back up and it stops here. Well, I've got two pieces of that 15-inch. We're going to put 1 and 2 and extend it about 8 feet. I've got a mini excavator coming, and what we're going to do is we're going to put gravel and cement on top of that to lock it in, make it nice and firm. And then I'll take this dirt here along with gravel and pack it all in. So what'll happen is that'll extend my turn out to about here. And that's really what I need. I need a bigger turn area here for when trucks come in, bringing in dumpsters or construction. There's the berm road to the pond. Here comes Ryan and the UTV. And we're going up to the field. I'm going to show you the old barn. The old barn, I want to save it because it just looks cool. The interior wood structure is fine. The outside just looks like crap. This place has been abandoned for at least 5 years. The other day, they put in that steel pipe, and that steel pipe ran to about here. And our problem was this corner was way too sharp for trucks. So I salvaged these other two pieces of 15-inch PVC. I ordered a coupler. We've coupled them together. So now I've got another, close to 8, 9, 10 feet. So we poured cement where they join. This one overlapped the pipe. We poured cement all over that connection, put a cement base on top. We're going to put gravel, a little more cement on top of this to firm up this gravel. Then I'll take the little excavator and we'll put it back in with dirt and gravel. I want to show them the blade. So here's the barn. This is the old barn that we're working with. And I bought these cheap China blades here. And man, that's the best thing for this thick stuff. Go ahead and cut into that one. That stuff is just crazy, man. It's just big, thick clumps of grass here. So I'm gonna take the chainsaw while he's doing this. There's a bunch of trees growing around here. I'm gonna cut the trees down. Oh. All right, so he's gonna sit here for a minute. I'm going up. I'm taking soil samples. And what's interesting about this field is that now I've been up here, I sprayed a combination of glyco and final sand. Now final sand is an organic herbicidal soap. If you don't want to use Roundup, use the final sand. It dehydrates the entire plant. Don't spray it on your grass. But man, that combination has knocked down this field really well. But let me show you what I mean. See if you can see it. When I push down on this probe, I mean, it's going so easy through this soil. And it's almost like there's pockets. See how it's a little bit of red, then it goes dark. So this was a pasture at one point. So I'm assuming there's a lot of shit in here. And then plus all the roots. So this should be a great growing field. The only thing I'll probably have to do here is I'll probably just plant some rows of crops and throw in some dirt booster maybe. I'm getting my soil test, I'll know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we've had the chainsaws and weed eaters, everything over here for an hour and a half. And we've taken all this crap out in here. And now the barn is opened up. Man, what a difference. It actually looks good. Pretty good. So you can see it used to look like this, and now it looks like this.